Red Green used to say, if you can't be handsome, you might as well be handy. Well, here is your chance to be handy. It's another House Fix with Rick.
Welcome to another House Fix with Rick. Today we're going to take advantage of a concrete wall. A lot of you have concrete walls in your basement, unfinished portions of your basement, and you're not utilizing them very well. Today, in this unfinished basement where the washer and dryer are located, we want to put in a shelf with a clothes rod in it so that you can hang your clothes to dry or just to hang them when you're done getting them out of the dryer. And we're going to mount a block of wood up and we're going to decide where to place that right now. Now we've got a shelf that's a little bit over 60 inches wide. And what we look at here is this particular location has a couple of seams in it, this concrete wall, from one seam to the other, and there's a little rough surface there. We've got about 4 feet of space. So we kind of have a universal measurement already for ourselves. And we're looking at where to mount it. And so we start by looking at, okay, where do we want to have the bracket? Now, the person I'm doing this bracket for, this shelf and shelf clothes rod, is a rather tall person. So we're going to look into this region as far as is a good height. I'm going to take time here to measure down so that when we do the other wall bracket, we're going to be able to kind of have an idea of what it is. And we're about 14 inches from the top of that wall. Now that's not always universal, but it gives us a good start. So we'll mount this. So we want to stay maybe 1.5 inches off of that. Makes a good amount. Now we want to make sure that this thing is level and plumb. And leveling, we want to check it up here to make sure that, and I'm using a little torpedo level, fairly accurate. Then we're going to make for plumb, and that's up and down for that side to make sure it's not cockeyed. So this is pretty good this way. So we're going to make a little mark on the wall where we want to put this block of wood. So that when we come back, we don't always need to use the plumb and level. But we're going to take this block of wood, which I've already pre-drilled for where I want to place my concrete screws. And those are going to act as templates for my drill so that I drill right where I want to drill. And then we'll put the screw in and we'll mount this block of wood. We're going to drill through these holes that I've already pre-drilled into the block of wood. We're using the concrete drill bit that we're going to use for the proper size for this particular 3/16 flathead concrete screw. So bear with me, we're going to try to drill in this pilot hole. This will help keep me straight and drilling like I want to drill. So we're going to go at it. Now concrete anchor screws are really strong, and I'm going to use an impact driver once I get to the concrete, but I wanted to make sure I got that far before I use that. I want to make sure I don't lose my orientation where my hole is. So we're going to take this impact driver, which makes it easier. You could use a hand screwdriver if you wanted to, but it'd be a lot easier with this. There we go. That's mounted. Now we're not going to mount it yet. We're not going to screw this to the wall because we've got to make sure there could be a variation in this wall. We've oriented it from the top of the wall, and we want to make sure that we've got a level shelf here. I'm going to use the clothes rod that we're going to use here on this project. I'm going to use that as the way to determine if these are exactly level to each other. So what we're going to do is we're going to see here if our float is about right, and we want to come down just a hair. Now we know that we're going to be mounting a real level shelf. Now let's mount the bracket up. We're just going to make sure that this is placed on top of the block of wood, and I'm going to have the top of the block be level with the top of the bracket. That we've got a good level surface that we're going to be able to mount our shelf to, and actually it'll be tilted up a little bit just because they want the shelf, they don't want stuff to fall off the shelf. So these are naturally prone to be up a little bit, but we just want it lined to the top of the board so that when we mount our shelf on there, that we shouldn't have any problems mounting that board on top of the block of wood and on the bracket. There we go. So I'm just going to use a good old pencil again, mark the block of wood, and I always pre-drill wood. You know, old wood is dried out. When you buy new wood in a home, you see people just drilling right into them and nailing right through them. If you've ever tried that at home, many times you'll split the piece of wood. In older, cured, dried out wood, if you don't pre-drill, when you put a fastener in, many times that wood will split and you got to kind of start over. So we're going to pre-drill these so that when we put a screw in, the thing won't split open on us. There we go. Good solid shelf bracket. We'll mount the other one and let's get our shelf on. Well, we've got our brackets up. We've done the hard work. Now the easy stuff, and it'll happen quick. Let's put the shelf on top, and then we'll put the clothes rod on. So let's get the shelf on, and we want to make sure the shelf is centered over those brackets. That'll be our biggest challenge. And it's kind of important for the visual on this, since we've got these solid seams in the mortar from the old concrete walls. We want to make sure that we're at the same distance over, otherwise your eye will catch that. So let's look and see if we've got, here we've got about 9 3/4 inches. And I'm going to be off, I think. Here's, oh, wait a minute, 9 3/4 inches. I think I could go just a hair. And as we see by the float, it's pretty level. And so we shouldn't have stuff sliding off the edge like it's on a boat. So I think we can go ahead and mount this particular shelf in place. And we'll just see if we can't strong arm these in a little bit. The shelf is nice and secure. Now let's put our clothes rod up. And again, this is, I cut these so that they're the same length as the shelf. So they should go about to the same length as that. And these also have a little area for screws. I'm going to drill those because this round rod will tend to pivot on me. So I'm going to drill that. There we have a shelf. Got a place to hang our clothes after we're done laundering them. This has been another quick house fix with Rick. It doesn't take too long. Don't be afraid to challenge it. Go for it. Use that concrete wall for something productive. If you need other help with other items around the home, please go to housefixwithrick.com. Thank you for tuning in, and now I'm going to go do some laundry.
Don't know what to buy or where to get help? Check out our RICK-amendations below.